Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano live stream. I think we've gone live there. There was I call it a technical glitch on the intro, the 30-second intro, but anyone coming in the comments, let me know if we are live and we can kick it off. Let us know how the audio is. Pete has left Cardano. He's now gone to Solana, so he won't be joining us today. So unfortunately, there'll be no more Pete for Cardano. Solana boy now.
Pete for Solana.
Learn Solana incoming. Pete.
Hey, morning.
If you want to clarify there, if you are leaving to Solana, it's actually, can you still say it? It's not April 1st for you anymore. It still is for us here.
Yeah, it's April 2nd here. But yeah, I've left Cardano for Solana now. So see ya.
Looks like we are. You should have had the profile picture ready with the Solana logo. That would have been
yeah.
Username Pete Learn Solana.
Sorry guys, I keep on having issues. I got knocked off again. But I don't know, it was fortuitous. That joke worked well.
Yeah, we considered just letting the stream run with none of us actually showing up today, but we figured we're not at much else anyway, so we come in and have a chat about what's going on and anything you guys want to go through today. As usual, drop it in the comments down below. Anyone who hasn't been here before, generally we take this as a laid-back stream, going through whatever the latest is on Cardano or whatever people want to generally talk about, rather than having specific set topics that we're going to go through. Do share it out, give the video a like. The three guys that are here with me, we've been here a good few times now. Their channels are down below for everyone that mightn't be subscribed just yet. I see DZ in the comments too. Is Cardano a ghost chain? Maybe we can have a chat about that in a while. But Farid, how have you been? We'll go around the table and then get into a few topics.
I'm good, man. Fired up, excited. It's late afternoon here in the United States. I was a little confused when you started the stream and I didn't recognize the music. I was like, where the heck am I? I was getting ready for the regular tune in and it just sounded completely different. But short of that, like I said, I'm fine. I'm good. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Nice. Pete, since you're still on Cardano.
Yeah, I'm just setting up my Lunar node at the moment. But anyway, I've had days of family stuff. So it's been Easter here, just like most places in the world. So I've had kids eating chocolate, going berserk. So my days have been chaotic. Besides that, I've been more so focused on stake pool related stuff. So I've been trying to get through YouTube content and stuff, but stake pool is always priority. So I've been playing around with that a lot more.
Nice. Yeah, my kids are off school last week and this week, so I'm having a bit less time in front of the computer. Still getting on for a bit, but
yeah,
doing a few things with them too. So it's good. It's nice to step away a little bit, touch grass, as they say on crypto Twitter. Josh, how's things with you?
I am fantastic. I have been working. I found a job, and it's a Web3 job. Some people already know who it's with, but I haven't said anything yet because the company wants to make a bigger official announcement with it. So yeah, it's that I've been doing that for a few weeks now, and it has been a fantastic experience. And it's nice spending all of my time being able to contribute to the space and do something that actually pays the bills. So it's nice.
Well, nice one. Congratulations on the job. That's great. It's good for Cardano in general to have you full time in the space now, I would say.
Yep, that's the hope.
Nice.
People in my YouTube comments have been telling me where you work.
Oh,
I found out from my YouTube comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Thank you.
I didn't hear yet. I'm going to have to ask off stream. It can't be official yet. Or I'll have to just go and look at Pete's comments. If anyone wants to know, go and check Pete's comments.
Yeah, that's where it is.
For where it is. Before we get into Cardano topics, anyone following Charles into the cold plunge? I've seen some of the IOG staff were there this week or last week, and they were taking it up.
No, I hate being cold, so it's not something that I have considered. I'm planning on moving to the desert because it's warmer out there. Not planning on going the other way.
Yeah, I've considered it a few times. Watched what you call your man? Hoff. Can't think of his name. The guy who's all a doctor who's always talking about it. But I've considered it. Yes. Haven't done it yet though. I think I'm a little bit. I used to do it when I played football. They used to have it after football training sometimes, but that's a good few years ago now. What about you, Peter? Farid?
Yeah, take a pass.
It's part of my training, so I just do it. But I only go down to 7 degrees. I don't know how cold most people are doing, like 7 degrees above freezing. So
that's cold enough.
Yeah. I don't know. Other people do it in freezing cold water. So I don't know if 7 counts.
I think seven would be cold enough. But right, let's see what topics. Anyone coming in? If you have topics, do drop them below. Share it out to bring other people into the stream, and any topics kind of go. But current thoughts on where we're at the minute with things have cooled off. We've seen there was major runs with Solana meme coins seem to be all of the talk. Everyone was leaving Cardano in the last 2-3 weeks to go and play with Solana meme coins. Seems to have calmed down a bit at the minute, but what's your guys' overall thoughts on the last 2 or 3 weeks since we last talked? I'll go back to Pete. Start us off.
Yeah, the meme coin run in Solana was quite hyped up, but hasn't there been like a massive exploit in the Solana ecosystem? And everyone's pointing fingers at where this exploit's happening at the moment. So if people aren't aware, it's people's liquidity from their wallets is just being completely wiped out and drained, and people are pointing to BoinkBot, to where else? Phantom Wallet, to Multi-X, and all these different things, and no one can particularly say where it's all happening. Maybe an answer has been come up with, but I don't know what's happening there now.
Yeah, I've seen that there was in the last few days, they were looking back at BoinkBot seemed to be the popular one, and then they said no, it wasn't them, and some of the ones that had been exploited had imported their wallet to different places, but I don't think they have a solution on it yet. But like I always say, anything you're not actively trading, get it on a hardware wallet, get it away from hot wallets, and keep it locked away safe. It's the best way. But I think I've seen, did Base start kicking off with memes in the last few days that people seem to, it's like everything seems to move in cycles and flows. The money just flows around between different ecosystems. And is it Base's turn, or will that be short-lived? Josh?
I think memes will always be short-lived. But yeah, like I think following the whole meme narrative, a lot of people, since Base is a very new ecosystem, it's not super sophisticated yet. Memes is the natural starting place to where they're at, and that really helped them to grow and become one of the fastest growing L2s on Ethereum in the history of L2s on Ethereum. So it's good for them. I think that it'll work in favor of the Base ecosystem, but it's not going to be what the whole ecosystem is built on. It's a passing fad is what I think it is.
Yeah, and actually just on Base, just to clarify, you don't need KYC to bridge off it, do you? There was a screenshot going around Twitter, but as far as I know, when I looked at the actual block, that was a fake, was it? Or was that clarified? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I did see a screenshot that looked like the official Base account saying something about KYC being the central mechanism for security or something like that. I don't know. I'm not looking too much into it because it's such a new developing ecosystem, and it does say in their literature that it is supposed to start at a centralized starting point so that they can decentralize in the future. I think that's how all ecosystems should build.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but Farid, thoughts, or if you have seen clarification on the KYC stuff?
Nope, I have not been keeping up with that at all. I feel like we've got enough stuff to deal with here in Cardano. Trying to deal with other people's problems is a whole nother thing. So yeah, nothing really to add to that. Maybe I can kind of change a little bit of the conversation topic here. Dean at 210 just left an interesting comment asking about Cardano price action, which has been something that I've actually seen in a lot of my content, especially like in the comments, right? So people asking, you know, why is Cardano moving so slowly? Again, really comparing that to what they've seen with Solana and, you know, other networks that appear to be getting pumped. But I always try to remind people, you know, trying to chase these pumps never typically works out, right? If you believe in Cardano, we're going to get our pump. It's going to take some time. I don't know when it's going to come. Nobody knows, right? But I would just say to everybody, just be patient. I just been getting more and more comments about people that are like getting frustrated about the fact that Cardano price isn't moving when other ecosystems are moving. And I think Sol was a good example, right? It's not like there's groundbreaking tech happening there. People are just going, you know, converting to Sol, jumping the ecosystem, hoping to make some money off of memes, right? So Cardano's turn will come. It's inevitable. I would just say, Dean, be patient and, you know, invest in things that you believe in. That's it.
Yeah, that one's going to lead us into one of the topics that I had around Cardano marketing and what is Cardano's USP right now, or why would people come into the Cardano blockchain? We'll get on to that in a minute. Just before we finish on the other topic, there was the FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried got 25 years in prison. Was that last week? Or I get confused on the timelines in crypto at times because so much happens. 25 years, it's a long time. There was people looking for a lot longer on that. The Solana, people were asking about this during the week, what's going to happen to that, because they were a major holder of Sol, but that was sold, I think $60 I seen was the selling price, but it was sold in an OTC deal to, I don't know, was it VCs or bigger investors, and they have 4-year vesting on when that can be released. But it just adds more VCs into the mix that's already there. I don't know if they're already invested in the ecosystem or if they're getting in. So I don't think, some people thought it was going to bring a big dump on the price, but if there's 4-year vesting, it means it's going to be a while before they get it out. So I don't think that's going to have any short-term impact on the overall price. Just on the ADA price, what you said, Farid, was very true. And even if we look back at other cycles, ADA has never really moved with the rest of the market. It's strange. You can have days where the rest of the market's green, ADA isn't doing much at all. You can have other random days then where the ADA price is way up and the rest of the market isn't doing a whole lot. Yeah, I think we're lagging a little bit more this time, but that's kind of, I suppose, one of the topics we'll get into is Cardano marketing. A lot of people ask about Cardano marketing and why we don't see it or what can we do. We've seen Cardano Girls they actually have 2 parts of the video out now. I can put links to that down below. I think it was a good initiative. I know some people had negative responses to it. I don't really understand that. It was a bit of humor, a bit of fun. It's got a lot more people looking into Cardano, kind of talking about Cardano, which is only a good thing to me. Farid, you just posted a video before we went live with Lily, so we can link that one down below. But we'll go back, start with you, because you had the chat with Lily. What's your thoughts on it, or Cardano marketing in general?
I mean, I think it's positive. It's a no-brainer for me, right? Any exposure, I think, is helpful, especially right now when there is so much content, right? So a lot of people putting out content, good, bad. My biggest thing is just getting people to engage with it, right? So having Lily on the channel, I was able to just kind of talk to her a little bit about why Cardano Girls, and she basically said she saw other girls doing it, right, in other ecosystems, and said, hey, this is probably, you know, something that we could do here in Cardano, and ended up actually being bigger than what they initially expected. Since then, there's been a group that has been built with over 90 other women, right? And initially started with just a group of 7. So I think it just goes to show that there's a huge audience here, and we just have to foster the room for them to grow. I've mentioned this in times past. I mean, women bring a lot of value into the space. A lot of them are creators, just like we are. They're not maybe as visible, but they are there. And so when people talk about onboarding, I think that's a huge piece that people leave behind. If you take a look at the traditional markets, right? Women tend to do a lot of online shopping, a lot of spending in general. And so I think it'd be a net positive to have them here in the space. And so it's just been a really good way, I think, to start a conversation. And I mentioned this to Lily. I mean, when you do anything that brings attention, you're always going to have people that like you or that like it and people that don't, regardless of your intention, right? Myself, you, Paul, Pete, Josh, I'm sure you guys have all encountered comments that have been negative, even when your intent is to be positive, right? So my thing is there's always going to be a minority that's going to complain no matter what you do. If you don't make the Cardano Girls video, people are going to complain about Cardano gets no marketing. You create the Cardano Girls video, people still complain about, marketing. So my thing is just go ahead and do it anyway. But it was really interesting, to sit down with her and to kind of talk a little bit about that. And they're not done. She's mentioned, a couple of things that they have in the pipelines. So I'll be keeping up with her and then just trying to see exactly how the movement grows. But I think overall it's a net positive. It's a no-brainer for me. Could we do more marketing in addition to that? Of course. But I think the best sort of marketing is the marketing that's done by the community, right? A lot of people aren't always receptive to like the professional sort of marketing. And I think this is one of the easiest ways to reach people. I mean, I saw influencers and other women from other ecosystems asking, hey, should I come back and make Cardano content? I mean, that's a really good way to bring people back into the ecosystem. In addition, people were asking, how do I pick up Cardano? How do I use this wallet, et cetera? So again, people may not like it, but I think overall it's a net positive.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. And I didn't realize there was as many women in Cardano or nearly in crypto in general, because a lot of times you see the same people across crypto Twitter. So it's good to see, and good to see coming in with humor and talking about it. And I'd say they can really take it to lots of different ways for education. I've seen Rick McCracken put out a video. He used the first one of one of the girls, and then he came in with his own spin on it about Mitchell signers. And there's lots of ways you can get good information out there as well. And one person I used to watch a lot I don't even know if this was the cycle before, but Crypto Daily. I used to love his videos because there was a lot of humor in them, but there was still also good news elements. Some of them he done specifically on memes that were going around, but he had lots of good content out there too. So I think it's good. Josh, Cardano Marketing, what's missing, or Cardano Girls, anything you want?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think that Cardano fits in kind of like a weird block within the industry of crypto, because like people in crypto, there's a very relevant degen culture in crypto. People want to know how they can get rich. People want to know how they can change their lives and like make moves. Cardano's very much like anti that culture. And they want to actually solve problems. They want to make changes in the world. They want to provide a good, stable, reliable product. And that like it fits differently. It hits differently. I think that like Cardano's advantages, Cardano's narrative is very much in the realm of like seriousness, in the realm of security. Like at this point, I get the feeling that Cardano doesn't even have to pump crazier than other ecosystems. We just have to outlast them, because at the rate that things are going, they're going to constantly get scammed. They're going to constantly see exploits. People are going to be betrayed and move away from those ecosystems. And Cardano doesn't have that. Cardano has security. Cardano has reliability. Cardano doesn't get transactions being failed or assets being manipulated, or this is what crypto is supposed to be about. So it definitely stands out amongst the crowd. It's definitely built differently. And when it comes to marketing, I mean, I love what Cardano Girls are doing. And I think that Cardano Girls adds to Cardano what Cardano has been missing. What you need to do in order to make a really great, world-renowned, breaking product is you need to go where the people are. And Cardano hasn't done that very well. Cardano is like, head down, building our product, building what we, think needs to be done and problems solved in the world. And we're doing it over here, separate from the rest of the industry. And Cardano Girls is out there like, social media trends. That's where people are at. That's where people are hanging out. Adding that life to it, the humor and the fun, and like human beings across the board love that. So that's, it's a big value that I think is added, and I think more of that could definitely benefit Cardano when it comes to the marketing side of things.
Yeah, fully agree on that. Pete, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd share the same sentiments, both Farid and Josh. I don't think I have much more to add, really. Probably just mention that, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing to see some of the comments about Cardano Girls, the negative comments anyway. But the interesting thing is that it has given a lot more of the females in our space a voice. So I did notice that a lot more people, well, a lot more women were posting and revealing themselves and getting more attention compared to what they normally would have in the past. And that's a really good positive to see as well. As far as I know, on my channel, I only have one female viewer, Jillian, and she posts in the comments, and I post up my stats, and I'm pretty sure I'm 99.9991% male audience. I don't know about you guys, but you may have completely different audiences compared to me. But it's good to see more women get a voice in the Cardano ecosystem. So it's been fantastic for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think Farid said they will bring a different perspective to some things we have. Lily done a follow-up video I seen on hers before part 2 of Cardano Girls, and she talked about trying to bring the bit of humor into different topics. And it is a great way to get points across, is that if you can bring a different dimension to them, because we're all creating content, I'd say lots of different topics and stories. We cover in a similar way. We'll have our own spin and our own opinions on different topics and that, but it's always good to have different ways because there's a broad audience out there, and what some people want to see, we mightn't provide where someone else might do it. I just checked my stats there. I was actually surprised. Mine used to be the 99.9% male on the viewers. At the minute, it's 98% male and 2% female. So looks like there is a spike in in women watching crypto at the minute, but that could be, I haven't checked that in a long time, so that could be just the bull market, people coming back into the space. Let's see.
It could be just me, like I could be putting off women in general. So I understand. It's okay. And one of the things that Lily pointed out was like my content is boring AF. So I got to change things around to make it a lot more interesting. It's brutal to hear, but it's okay. I can change. I can
evolve. Here. I just covered the topics and give opinions. It's I'd like to try and bring something else into it, but I'm gonna have to sit down and think about that.
My thing is though you should just lean into what comes naturally, right? So if you're an informative guy, which I would consider all of us up here to just kind of be straightforward and informative, just roll with it. For example, Crypto Moose, he's always in my comments and he and I chat all the time. That dude's a comedian, but like he doesn't try. It just comes to him naturally, and that was kind of the vibe that I got with the Cardano Girls, was like, hey, maybe they're not straightforward and informational like we are, but they have a really good way of delivering, and it's organic, which I think is huge, but it's also cost effective. I mean, they probably spent what, I don't even know, maybe the most expensive thing I saw in that video was CNFT Fart's stake. And that probably ran, $20-$30, whatever the cost is, but they didn't put any money down, and that got more reach than some of the content that's been like highly, what is the word? Highly
produced.
Yeah, highly produced content where IOG or the Cardano Foundation is taking, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get set to the community, but it doesn't have the same impact, right? So I think it's really just leaning into the gifts that we have, and it just kind of it makes sense to me. But I just wanted to say that I think it's a huge way to contribute. You save time, you save money, and it's organic. I think that's what's the best part about it, is that other ladies can relate to it because it was authentic. Yep. Yeah. Marie just took the words out of my mouth right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good comment. Just be yourself, be authentic. I know from looking across crypto content, there's too much stuff where I look at it and I know it's fake, just the way people are trying to go on in them. And I think all of us here generally try to be who we are when we're talking to projects, interviews, or talking in streams like this. It's just our genuine thoughts on different things. And that won't be for everyone. Some people want the different persona that's going to be kind of shouting out at them, telling them exactly what to do, the next 100x and all this type of stuff. And there's an audience for every type of content. I just moved, Pete, at least 2. Thanks, Andra. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.
I'll quickly say, I mean, the floor is also open for, I mean, if you think about it in terms of market share, if 2 or 3 ladies come together and they do what we're doing here, imagine the audience that they're able to pull. Like that niche or that side of the equation is totally untapped, right? Like if you're a woman and you see another woman as a creator that's beginning to do stuff kind of like we do, but maybe has her own twist on it, you know, I think that there's just a huge opportunity, and that's in and outside of Cardano, because I can assure you that we're not the only creators with this 99 or 98% male audience. That's just the entire space and how it goes. So I think for any woman who wants to be a creator, like there's no better time than now to do it.
Yeah, fully agree. I see people asking about the vote, the foundation for the layer 1. I'm just trying to see here now what the latest is on it. I know between Elrond, or they're not called Elrond now, they're called Multiverse
X.
Yes. I still go back to eGold originally, and then Elrond, and then Multiverse X. So see, Multiverse X has taken the lead at the minute. They are 3,055 votes, and Cardano is 2,963. I know some people are saying about bots, but I know from previous discussions across Twitter, they have a really good community too. They have a fairly big supportive community. I'm going to put the link in the comments here for anyone who wants to get in and vote on it. You can just go in and vote for the best layer 1 solution. I think there's a few days left on it, so lots of time yet. But anyone that hasn't voted yet, then there's the link. Let's see what other topics. There's people asking. AJ had asked, biggest concern. This is something that I've seen across Twitter as well. People saying we shouldn't highlight things that need to be improved or things that aren't good. And I'm a bit split. I think you have to be open and talk about what the issues are or what you think needs to be solved, or else they're not going to get solved. They just keep getting brushed away. For me personally, it is on the scaling side that I have a bit of a worry in that, like, my biggest thing is that other chains right now, Cardano decentralization, security is one of the biggest things that we have going for Cardano right now. You look at Frederick said in a recent interview about some states in the US approaching about how would they be able to do voting on chain. You look at what's going on with the Dubai police and how they can trust the Cardano blockchain. So we have that element, which is brilliant. My concern is that other chains will edge closer to that before we edge further into the scalability that some of the other ones have. So for me personally, once we have full governance on chain this towards the end of the summer, I'll personally be really trying to put a big push on getting one focus on scalability. Whether for me right now, I think input endorsers is the one that really brings a lot to the chain. And that's the one that if I see proposals in for that, that's the one I'll be trying to back to bring exposure to it and get people to, we need the direction on it. When I talk to Charles, they've done research on so many different aspects, but I think it's time that we need a focus because we do need that scalability. For me anyway, no matter what people say, if we want to compete in the longer term, we don't need to be as fast as Solana or Polygon or some instant finality, but we do need to be faster than blocks every 20 seconds. And when we get a lot of users on chain, that the chain gets a bit congested. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on, should these topics be discussed in public or behind closed doors, or what's your own thoughts on it?
I mean, I think that the open forum, open discussion thing is incredibly good and healthy. Just like what I was saying before, Cardano's built different. We have these conversations out in the open, and I don't know if this concern from the community is coming from like a fear that people aren't gonna buy ADA and pump the price or something if they see that we're all pointing out some of these issues. If it were me looking from the outside in, then I would be encouraged by it, because this is an actual conversation that's happening on how we can solve our own problems and move forward in the future. I think that like community input and community discussion, open forum, like this is the perfect culture for open free market democracy to take place. The only way that people can make informed decisions, the only way that governance actually works is if people are informed. And the only way people are informed is if people are actively talking about it, as if it's just normal conversation. So I love that people are talking about it. I'm not at all concerned about like, you know, the open discussion about issues being a problem, being like damaging in some way to the image of Cardano. I think that it's good. I think that it will help us to move forward. The people in this community are passionate and committed, and we're looking to make the best blockchain ecosystem that there is. And this is a part of that. This is how like real decentralized governance takes place in the healthiest way that it can.
Yeah, I think that's a good comment there by Zimcoin as well, is at the same time, we have so many footing us. We should be careful not to foot ourselves. Like a job interview, you highlight your strengths and not your weaknesses. Devs can do the rest. I think it's a balancing act of that. And unfortunately, a lot of media outlets, if someone with a bit of a profile talks about something that needs improvement, then it's picked up in a news article. We see, which we might come on to in a few minutes, Patrick talked about the need for more transactions on Cardano to keep up with staking rewards. And all of a sudden there was a news article talking about how prominent member or prominent contributor highlights the issue. And it's like, that's kind of taken out of it, where I think we have a lot of the research and the planning and everything done. We just need that push in the right direction. And it's about, kind of ties in with marketing as well, how you put it all together and get the right message out there. But I don't see harm in having these conversations. But yeah, as your profile grows, you need to be a little bit more cautious about what you say, because every little word you put out is going to be taken up in maybe the wrong context. But Peter, Farid, thoughts on it?
Pete, you want to go first, or you want me to go? All right, so I'll go. I think we have to be very careful, right? I think the biggest thing is, in this day and age, there's a lot of misinformation. Myself as a creator, if I don't feel confident about something, I typically don't make a video about it. And I think that's okay. You know, I'm not expected to know everything, and I don't think anybody knows everything. But in this day and age, especially on a platform like YouTube, which obviously we are all on, it's a platform where your content lives forever, right? So you don't know where you're going to be in the next 2, 3, 5 years, what kind of audience you're going to have. And if you're putting out content that is beginning to question, you know, what's going on in Cardano, potentially raising things that you're concerned about, number one, those things might get addressed in the future and you may not take those videos down. But then number two, people coming in, you know, 3, 4 years from now, they might see that content and sway away from, you know, joining Cardano or taking a closer look, etc. So I think we just have to be very careful. And we saw a really clear example of that with the issue a while back with the testnet, right? With the Vassal upgrade, where people were talking about how the testnet was AKA broken. And Charles came out and said, hey guys, like, before you guys go on these platforms and make these videos, you have to understand the impact. And we're almost giving ammunition to other people that already don't like Cardano. So I think it's a matter of making sure that if we have these conversations, that it's on the right platforms and not platforms that are built solely for engagement and engagement farming. And I'll be honest, I mean, I feel like YouTube and X, you know, Instagram, these are platforms that are built more or less for engagement, right? So they're probably not the best place to have like super in-depth technical conversations, you know. It's more or less, again, for entertainment content. But I also think that this could lead to a loss of confidence, right, for people as well. Not only the people watching your content, but again, people that might want to come into Cardano. I would say the last thing, and maybe on a much more positive note, is that, yeah, we are in a decentralized environment. We want to be transparent. And if things aren't going correct, we have to be honest about that, right? But I think we just have to be careful about where we do it, how we do it, and who actually does it. You don't want to just have anybody speaking about these things, especially if they're not close to the ground, which is why I love to bring people on my channel that actually know those areas a lot more than I do. Shout out to Trim. You know, he's been working with IOG, very, very technical. I love to bring him on the channel to ask him some of those deeper questions. I brought on Pi, and he was super technical and was able to break some of those things down. So I think it's just a matter of making sure the right people are included in the conversation, and that we're doing or having those conversations on the right medium or on the right platform.
Nice summary, Pete.
Yeah, I've been caught out creating a little bit of FUD here and there, so you do have to be careful and be mindful of what you say. Not much more to add to these boys. The great comments there, but yeah, nothing else to add. Like, very well said.
Nice one. Yeah, and I'm looking here. Probably have another 20 minutes, roughly 25 minutes. So any topics anyone wants to bring up, it's an open forum here if you want opinions from all of us. And that's what they are. They're just our opinions. That's one thing that all I say here is I don't know the answers to everything. Free to there. We don't know everything. So anything we don't know, we'll give our opinion on it. But that's what it is. Indigo Labs, good to see you here. Looking forward to V2 coming out very soon now, I think, from what I seen last. Let me see what else. And the three guys, anyone tuning in late here, do give the video a like, subscribe if you're new here. And the three guys on with me are listed down in the description, but they're regulars now at this point for these streams. I seen mention there of Guy from Coin Bureau. I lost comment actually, talking about World Mobile and going to be looking deeper into it. It's always good to see highlights like that for Cardano projects. Popular topic. I haven't heard any latest few posts today about USDC coming, but it is April 1st, so I didn't even read into them. Any actual updates or indications from you guys? I know actually, Farid, you had the WSY, is it, guys on, or one of the guys on recently?
Yeah, the XC team. He said that, and this was, I want to say it was Dave Markley. He mentioned no updates specific to onboarding USDC into Cardano, but he did say that IOG's venture will be open to working to bring stablecoin providers like that into the ecosystem. Interesting thing that he mentioned there was that they would be working to bring their own solutions, but then also working with existing stablecoin issuers, for example, like USDM or Mahen, which he actually mentioned by name. So outside of that, I haven't heard anything, but I would also say if you want to find out more about the state of things, join Intersect. They've got a stablecoin group, a stablecoin working group, which is, I believe, kind of leading that effort.
Nice. Pete, you hear anything on stables lately?
Nope, I have not heard a thing. I think people are still asking when retail will be opened up on the USDM side. I believe it's supposed to be around now, end of March. It's 2nd of April for me now. So hopefully do hear a little bit more about that soon so retail can start minting some USDM.
Okay, Josh, anything from you?
No, I'm the same as you. I saw some stuff, but April 1st, I'm not believing anything. So we'll wait and see for tomorrow.
Yeah, if they're still talking about it tomorrow, we'll take a closer look. And just on USDM, I'm just checking the Charlie 3 dashboard there. It's 120,000 USD is in it as of the last snapshot, which was last night. It's slow to get liquidity. It has been an issue for some people. I would still say personally, I wouldn't trade it yet, or if you are trading it, make sure you check out what you're getting back and what the slippage is or what the quoted amount you're going to get back. I know some people were trading and they were saying, well, I have a slippage of 2%, so that's all it's going to fall. But when you're trading, that's not just what you're going to get back less, because whatever application you're using is going to give you an estimate, and then your slippage is going to be that many percent less than the estimate. The estimate could already be down 5-10% due to the price impact. So make sure you check all of them just when you are trading. Hopefully we do see more liquidity come into it fairly soon, because for people looking in and looking at Cardano and fiat-backed stablecoins, or maybe even the likes of USDC or USDT, looking in and seeing, well, that they have an option for fiat backed and it's not being taken up. So we need to show that there is a want for it here and that it will be utilized when it does come in. So we're going down through the comments here, and if I have missed anyone, please do just post it again and we'll bring it up. Let me see. Will you guys mint and provide liquidity? So this must be in around USDM. Personally, right now isn't the time that I'd be looking to get stable coins with the current market, and that is kind of against them right now. I would say personal opinion on it is that when you're in a bull market, people aren't looking as much to get stable coins. And for me, I've been in crypto a good few years now, so I'm basically all in on the crypto market. So I don't have much fiat sitting on the sidelines to bring in through something like USDM. But when there is more liquidity there, as the market cycle goes on, I definitely want to trade in and out of fiat-backed stablecoin and maybe in time be able to use that as an off-ramp too. Would any of you guys be minting when it does open for retail?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point with the low liquidity and the huge imbalance of values, it's a fantastic time to mint USDM if it were available to retail users to do so. Not, don't pick it up on a DEX, but like on the front end, actually putting US dollars into the system, and then you can get more ADA for your money out of it because the market has USDM being overvalued. So there's arbitrage opportunity to take advantage of there. And while there is low liquidity, that's kind of the I think incentive to go in and mint USDM. There's low liquidity, it's overvalued, the demand for it is higher than the supply has to keep up with, and that's arbitrage. That's that's DeFi. That's the name of the game here. So yeah, once it opens up, I probably will be jumping in to mint some USDM on the front end so that I can get into the ecosystem with some more bang for my buck.
Nice. Farid or Pete?
Yeah, that's the idea. I will be looking for arbitrage opportunities. So, and if I can, I will. But I just don't have any more money in the bank to move over from fiat over to USD M. So if I did, I would. But it'll be pennies. It's small amounts compared to what's really needed. So if you think I'm going to make an impact, no, that's not. I'm not.
Yeah, I would just echo. Yeah, I was just going to echo. I said, if I were to mint, it definitely wouldn't be to hold long term. Right now, I'm trying to get as much exposure to Cardano and other native assets. Right, the price is increasing and moving in our favor. I probably don't think. Well, yeah, I don't think it's a good time to be heavily in stables. Right now, could we see more people minting after the bull market when people are in profits? Yeah, I think that's really when we're going to see stablecoin minting pick up. So right now, as Josh mentioned, if you want to quickly make a profit before anybody else does, there's that incentive to mint and sell in the market. But sitting around and holding stables, that's what you should have been doing probably for the last year and a half or a year ago, and then transitioning into more volatile assets now as they've been appreciating. So that's that. I did want to touch on a quick question though from Chetas Mita, talking about the Indian population. And I want to maybe throw this one over to Pete and Josh as well, because he's bringing up an interesting point, asking about the huge population in India and the fact that, Solana, Ethereum, and Polygon have pretty big communities there, but Cardano doesn't appear to be there. So, Chetas, thank you for asking a question. I would just maybe say, we need more translated content. We need more creators that are native to those areas that already understand Cardano to tap in and, create content to bring other people from that area on board. Again, very similar to the thing that we mentioned with the ladies earlier, right? Like there's a huge untapped market, I'm sure, and they'll be able to relate to the content if it's spoken in their traditional language, etc. But then another thing too is keep in mind that a lot of these communities that you've mentioned, Solana, Polygon, Ethereum, they do a lot of airdrops, right? So when you mention airdrops, people will come to those ecosystems regardless of whether they're going to be there long-term or not, right? I mentioned this before, Cardano's taken a much different route. Yeah, we have airdrops here and there, but we're not a meme coin driven chain with airdrops happening every single day. So a lot of people don't come to Cardano because those opportunities aren't there. And I would say, really just trying to understand why are they going to Solana, Ethereum, etc. I think that plays a big part into it. So Josh and Pete, I know you guys have both mentioned creating content in other languages. What are your guys' thoughts surrounding that and being able to reach a new audience?
I think that's exactly the right solution, is content for people catered to those audiences. Because like in the Cardano ecosystem, it's not that there isn't products that are directly catered to that population. I don't know if you guys are familiar with FLAC Finance, but FLAC Finance is basically the version of Meld catered to India. They are supposed to be that like fiat to crypto bridge, but their main currency that they're utilizing is the Indian rupee. So it's a product that is directly dedicated to that population. It's just a matter of like spreading awareness to it. And yeah, I think that things like that could really benefit from maybe some support from the Cardano Foundation. With a lot of these other ecosystems, you go to the Solana website or you go to the Ethereum website, you can find access to highlighting some of the big major projects that are in the ecosystem. And Cardano has had this long-standing policy of not supporting any particular projects in the ecosystem, which I understand the rationale behind that, but also maybe it's time to turn that around because it is a thriving ecosystem. There's a lot to display. And maybe that could be a helpful tool for getting into new audiences, just like with what FLAC Finance is doing. So yeah, that's my thought.
It's interesting. A lot of the educated population in India do speak English, so I don't know how much of a language translation is going to be an impact there. And it's the same with some other Southeast Asian countries as well. I'm trying to do a big push with Discover Cardano to do something in the Philippines, which is majority English speaking, but they have massive, Solana has massive reach there, along with Ethereum, where they do all these great little mini events, hackathons, meetups and everything, and it's all sponsored. So there's decent money behind all these ecosystem workshops, but they take an approach where they interact with a Web3 meetup or whatever it is. So it's the whole crypto ecosystem, and they have a really good reach of encouraging more developers to look into Solana and start building on Solana and educating and teaching them how to build on Solana. So we really do need more events like that on the Cardano side of things, in the Philippines, in India, in Hong Kong, where a lot of these brilliant devs are. But they aren't even looking at it because they aren't being shown the opportunities or anything that can happen out of it, and the differences as to why they should be building on Cardano or what opportunities there are to build on Cardano and make a career out of it. So yeah, I think creating some of these more content specific for those regions, creating events and physical in real life events as well, it would have a really good impact, and encourage anyone that is actually watching from those countries to reach out. I can put you into contact with the right people to try and get these events organized and put a nice catalyst proposal together and get some funding for it. So it should happen. I think it will make a big impact. And on those airdrops, I've noticed on my channel, a lot of people left with a really sour taste after the very first Cardano airdrop that ever happened with Sunday. And, congestion issues and that really bad UX, back in, when was it? 2021? Was it? I can't remember. The date. Yeah. It all blurs, but yeah, a lot of people said they'll never touch Cardano again because of that and their experience of losing so much money back then. But things have changed. I highly encourage anyone that was back in the ecosystem then looking for airdrops, continuously look for other projects building on Cardano for their airdrops or whatever it is, because it has changed dramatically.
Yeah, I think the chain has come a long way from the Sunday launch. I think even Sunday knew going into that launch that it wasn't going to go that well. They didn't expect it to be as bad, and I suppose we can say it was bad. And it was more so on the chain just was not ready for that kind of demand. It was many, many multiples of the highest demand the chain had ever seen before, and it just wasn't ready for it. And IOG and CF learned a lot from that, and I think other projects launching were able to learn from that as well. But definitely, if people haven't got involved since back at that time, definitely do take another look. Things have come a long way for Cardano and DeFi in particular, and there's a lot more coming over the next months. And as the chain grows even more, there was a question here on the centralized exchange listings. So we are seeing a lot more of them lately. MEXC seems to be the go-to Cardano exchange now. Every project listing seems to be MEXC is the one that's open. It's the biggest exchange right now that's open to Cardano listings, and seems to be, if you pay the fee, which isn't astronomical. I can't remember. I've seen it somewhere. Is it 60K to 100K, depending on liquidity that's been provided to market makers and stuff, which isn't massive when you look at some of the other exchanges. And what ones did he ask? Indigo. I'm nearly sure Indigo on the space I was on announced MEXC. I'm not sure if Book have, but that's the one I would kind of be expecting or leaning towards if I was betting on. One last topic, as I see the time is running down, is staking rewards. This kind of goes back to what we mentioned earlier with the tweet talking about we need more transactions on the Cardano network to help maintain it, or to help maintain rewards, which are, I would say, in around 3% right now, maybe even touching under 3% due to the way it works. Anyone who hasn't seen it before, basically there is, what is it? I done a video 2 or 3 years back. I think it's 0.03% taken out of the reserve every epoch. That's put into a pot along with the transaction, the fees paid in transactions in an epoch. 20% of that goes to the Cardano treasury then, and 80% is paid out to people who are staking. So that means that the reserve that's sitting there on the side, there is, I'll have to check up the percentage after. I think it was 0.03 is taken out of that. So that's getting slightly smaller every epoch. So that means that the amount coming out every epoch is going to be slightly less every time. And right now the transactions on Cardano are, what were the numbers? I should have had these prepared. Is it 150,000 ADA per epoch? Something like that is all that's coming in transaction fees, compared to 15 million ADA being paid out in rewards. So there's a big difference there. We need a lot more transactions. But thoughts on the importance of transactions being put up? I think partner chains, there was some questions earlier. I'm just thinking now, I missed them on partner chains is one area that can help that. But what's your guys' thoughts on staking rewards in general? I think it was 5.5 maybe when I first started staking with Cardano, and down to just under 3% now. But Pete, I think you got the tail end of some other questions. I'll go to you first on this one.
Yeah, I've had a lot of complaints from users that were relying on or wanting to retire on staking rewards from Cardano. So in terms of getting that traction back up and transactions back up, it's definitely something that the entire ecosystem needs. And I've seen many people comment about this. You know, we just need that 1 or 2 absolute killer dApps out there that people will use on a regular basis all the time. But we need a reason to as well. And if it has to be meme coins again, great. Bring on the meme coins. But on the flip side, all these brilliant developers and the way that we do things in Cardano, it's very demoralizing to have these memes with a TVL that is higher than some of these projects that have been building for the last 2 or 3 years, pouring their heart and soul into the ecosystem, building the underlying technology, contributing to Aiken and all that, to have their TVL like ripped out from under them to see these meme coins go up. So yeah, we do need a killer dApp, and I think the ecosystem needs to support some of these developers that are building really cool things out there. What that killer dApp is, I don't know yet. hopefully we do see it soon. I do have a lot of favorites, and fingers crossed they reach more adoption very soon.
Yeah, I think meme season, when we had it on Cardano, they were some of the few epochs that we actually seen the rewards go slightly up. And for anyone not familiar, your stake rewards are going to go up and down every epoch. It depends on how many blocks are assigned to the pool, and that's down to the lottery. And the way I say it is that every ADA in a pool is basically a ticket into the lotto. So the more tickets you have in it, the more chance you have of blocks. But then the more ADA that's there, the more people you're sharing the actual rewards paid to the pool. But just because a pool might have one or two bad epochs, or they're lower than something else, I don't think we see it as much as we used to. People used to jump around when there was one or two epochs that weren't great. On a whole, most pools will come in around, roughly in around the same rewards once they're getting continuous blocks. But Farid, thoughts as a stake pool operator, I suppose, as well?
Yeah, I want to speak on this, but I feel like there's so many variables that could play into this. I want to say I think the biggest thing that comes to mind for me is just watching how this impacts the actual number of stake pools that we have and how big an impact this has on decentralization, right? Because I recall when I started my stake pool, the value of ADA being at 24 cents. And I basically had like no incentive to like run a stake pool. I was actually in the red for a little bit. Now that the price is up, the pool's doing a little bit better. But I think just looking at it from a much bigger standpoint, we're going to see many more pools being in that situation, especially as the rewards dwindle and as people become more eager to find the next opportunity, therefore pooling into, some of the bigger pools, right? I think on Cardano, I don't quote me, but I want to say it might be like 40 or 50 around there of the biggest pools like have, the majority of the stake. And it's interesting because, again, these are pools that they're fine, but when you take a look at some of the smaller pools, they're struggling to get stake, they're struggling to get delegators. And as more people go offline because they just don't see the value in it, or because they're in the red, people are going to drive to those bigger pools. But again, I think there's just a lot of variables at play here. My biggest thing is just making sure that we don't lose our decentralization as these rewards get harder and harder to be found. And so I know there's been talks about the partner chains and all that stuff, but I don't think that that's coming tomorrow, So since I've joined the community, I've seen the staking rewards drop, which, I mean, it's been, I think, 2 years. I assume it's going to probably continue to drop at that same exact rate. And I'm really just watching to see how that's going to impact the profitability of SPOs and then the delegators, because now, again, they're going to be really incentivized to only delegate to some of the biggest pools until they're saturated, because they're always looking for the best rewards.
Nice. Sorry, I was laughing at Zim's comment there about the Irish accent. I'll leave that up to you guys if you want to finish on that. But Josh, will let you comment on this first, the staking rewards.
Yeah, normally I'm all about the non-degen approach to these things, and stop whining about revenue and those kinds of things. But I think when it comes to the staking, something does need to be done about it, because it's not just about the rewards that you can earn out of it, but it's like people always talk about how Cardano has the most advanced liquid staking mechanism in the industry, which is absolutely true. But like, what does that really mean if you're not actually earning anything out of it, if there's nothing coming from it? So I think that something does need to be done, and I do think that there are some sustainable things that can be done to help aid that. Maybe we could reduce some of the sort of tax that's going towards the Cardano treasury, and reallocate that to delegator rewards. We could also just kind of like wait it out and help let things kind of naturally come into the ecosystem, because as the market gets more exciting, people will be coming into Cardano more. In what proportion of the market that is, we don't really know, but it is going to happen. When the market gets exciting, people will be coming back to Cardano. I guess the question is like, I don't know, like what kind of catalysts are going to be those things that drive people into the ecosystem. And honestly, like it's consistent enough with the industry where if they are able to make it happen sometime in this next bull market, I think that the Dust airdrop for the Midnight Protocol is going to be one of those things that gets people really stoked, and people will buy ADA, take it into the Cardano ecosystem so that they can get that Dust airdrop. I think that'll be a catalyst that'll help increase some activity within the ecosystem. So it's just stuff like that to look forward to. Killer dApps, absolutely, totally on board with that one. But yeah, it is definitely a considerable thing that we need to figure out what to do to increase those staking rewards, because it's a big part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think there's lots of DeFi applications that you can get involved in to get higher rewards, but you do lose one of the biggest advantages of liquid staking on Cardano, which is the ADA stays in your wallet. You have no risk outside of you compromising your own wallet, letting someone get access to that. So for me, if there's only ever 1 to 3% additional rewards on DeFi plays, then generally I don't go for them. The security risk of it just isn't worth it for me. And just to clarify the numbers, I looked them up there on staking rewards. So the pool fees, the actual fees or the rewards paid out to delegators was just under 10 million in one of the last few epochs, and the fees taken in by the network was 105,000 ADA. So there's a big difference there. Josh, you touched on one topic that I think will be a vote when we do get full on-chain governance is, do we reduce the 20% tax that goes to the treasury? So out of the funds that are taken out of the reserve every epoch, do we keep paying 20% of that to the treasury, or do we put more to rewards? I think long-term transactions has to be the key to bring up, because that reserve pot and even taking away some of the tax, it's shorter term. We do need transactions. So we need the killer dApps, we need partner chains, and then we need the scalability to accommodate more users that come in to use the killer dApps. But we're up on the hour now. I will leave closing thoughts up to you guys. As usual, thanks very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I love the conversation. Covered a lot of different topics. Your closing thoughts can be in an Irish accent if you want, or you can stick to your normal one. I'll leave that choice up to you. Everyone that tuned in, thanks very much. The links to the guys' channels are all down below. Give the video a like here, share it out. Let people know what is going on Cardano. I think we all give our own honest opinions on it without trying to blow things up. But who wants to go first? And is it going to be Irish or not?
Whoever goes first, if they start off with the Irish accent, I think we all have to do it.
Well, you started talking, so.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I don't know. I just want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for the opportunity to jump on here. I know a lot of people are, again, getting a little bit impatient, but I would just say continue to invest in, continue to keep up with the projects that you believe in. And it's always a pleasure to jump on here and do this with you guys. So look forward to doing it again. Yeah, I want to hear Josh's accent though.
I don't know how to do an Irish accent.
You up now. He's thinking about it. He's going to try it. Pete? Oh, Pete's pretending to be on mute now. You just done the Irish accent there, did you?
Did we lose him? Convenient timing that we lost him. There's a.
Yeah, it leaves it down to you, Josh.
Oh dang. Well, closing thoughts. No, I'm not even gonna try it. I think that going into this next bull market, people are always going to be impatient. But like, things are really moving forward. Cardano has a lot going for it. We've got a heck of a lot of developer activity that's supporting advancing this ecosystem forward. And we're not we're not ignoring the issues that we have in this ecosystem. We all talk about them all the time. We're well aware of what's happening. And I think with a lot of the moves that a lot of crypto projects are taking in this ecosystem, especially I think the ones that are doing cross-chain stuff and getting out there and interacting with more people and spreading the word of what it is that they're doing. I think that naturally we can grab more attention towards the ecosystem through mechanisms like that. So yeah, things are coming. Innovation is happening. Cardano's not going anywhere. All right, we're outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're the only ecosystem that has been here for 2 full bull markets and maintained our position in the top 10. It's the strongest community in the ecosystem. We've got incredible community members like Cardano Girls that are out there committed to doing things that aren't already actively here, you know? So like, we've got a lot going for it. I'm not pessimistic about it. I'm incredibly optimistic about what we're going to have happen in this next bull market. With the rest of this year, I think it's going to be a really exciting one for Cardano. So that's where we're at. Like, you know, just because it doesn't show on the 24-hour chart doesn't mean that it's not going to show on the 90-day chart or the 12-month chart. It's this is the long game. Cardano and the industry of crypto, it's a powerful, innovative industry that is meant to solve problems that don't get solved overnight. So it's happening. We're in the process.
I don't think I could add any more to that. And just in case people are listening to the audio of this, Pete has put up to say, no, seriously, it did die, and showing a screen that he can't connect. But I'm just going to say he didn't want to attempt the Irish accent. But maybe we'll start the next one with some top of the morning to you.
Well, dang, I just have to practice that one.
Well, here's your advanced warning. We'll be back in maybe 2-3 weeks' time. We'll have another stream. Hope everyone got some value from this, enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks, guys, and talk to you all soon. Cheers.